My name is Ying Wang, and today I would like to talk about the cognitive load theory in a worked example. The presentation content includes three parts. The first one is the concepts related to cognitive load. The second part is worked example, and in the third part, I will show you some teaching materials to prove the worked example. Let's look at the first part. I want to show you the memory types. The first one is sensory memory. Sensory memory is transient for the external stimulus, and the sensory memory could maintain the information for a very short period of time, just less than 1 second. Working memory is usually seen as a temporary storage for information. The capacity is 7 plus or minus 2 chunks. And the long-term memory is usually seen as a storage for the information for a long period of time, and the capacity is unlimited. And let's look at the cognitive load. Cognitive load is divided into two types. The first one is the intrinsic cognitive load, which is associated with complex teaching material content and difficult tasks. And the second, extrinsic cognitive load. It is related to inappropriate teaching methods in a material presentation. And how the cognitive load will be arised? Here are three reasons I want to show you. First, when there are too much information in working memory, the students may feel anxious and irritable, and the capacity of the working memory will be overloaded. And second, when the learners require to search and match information frequently, long and tedious matching and searching back for information will lead to fatigue for the novice students. And in this situation, if the teachers could not provide correct guidance for the novice students, they may arise cognitive load. And in the second part, worked example. A worked example could be considered as a teaching method that teachers provide clear solutions and thinking steps to solve problems for the novice students. And then teachers will ask students to follow the above the solutions and thinking steps to solve similar questions. And here are the steps for the worked example for teacher to use. And we need to know how to distinguish expert and novice. Expert has abundant experience in specific areas and prior knowledge, and they can reversal information in long-term memory to the working memory quickly. And now let's look at the third part. I chose a section from Chinese mathematics teaching material for the grade 3, and the topic of this section is location and direction. And let's look at this picture. We can find here is a line above the picture. In the morning, the sun is in the east, and here is a boy named Xiaoming. Xiaoming says, I'm facing east and my back is facing west. And here is another line under the picture. Xiaoming's left is north and his right is south. The step-by-step statements in the textbook in words could be seen as worked example through which students could learn that east is to their right, west is to their left, north is in front of or above them, and south is behind or below them. So students can fill in east is opposite to west and north is opposite to south. And here, let's look at this picture. We can find 5 buildings labeled on the first picture. They are teaching building, gymnasium, playground, library, and gate. And the text to the right of the picture and the text under the picture could be seen as a worked example to state the orientation of these buildings. So in the part of thinking, below the teacher could help students consolidate their existing knowledge of the orientation and give them a demonstration of completing the question 1. And after that, students could complete the question 2 and question 3 according to the worked example. And in this page, it is an exercise often used as homework for students to complete after the class. Students are required to review the orientation in conjunction with the worked example provided by the teacher. And after that, students need to complete the exercise on this page independently, and they need to imitate the solutions and the thinking steps provided by the teachers in the class. Therefore, based on the cognitive load theory and the worked example, I think our teachers need to skillfully use the worked example in teaching and avoid overuse of worked example. This may lead to students' negative learning, and at the same time, our teachers should also avoid the expertise reversal effect, and this may bring unnecessary cognitive load to the students. And here are the references I used in this presentation. So thank you for listening.